little choppy.
Yeah, a little bit. Scoot up a little bit here. There we
go. All right, guys. I don't know if you can hear me. Let me know in the comment section if you can hear us. We are at home. It's just a little Q&A for like our coming close to the end of the season kind of thing. It's something we wanted to do to kind of get in touch with everybody else. In there, just a little choppy. Let's see here. We're going to try to fix this a little bit. Let's see if I... There. Does that help any?
Well, I'm seeing we're getting some on there.
Yeah, we're getting some.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I don't like Google Hangouts. Rick Rose. What's up, Rick? All right, so let's start off real quick. I know you guys got some questions, so we're gonna answer some of these. First one is from Isabel. She says, "Hi guys, I've been watching. Is it possible if your grandparents died in different places, not at the house that you're in, can they return to the house to visit you?"
Well,
take that?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a possibility. Spirits aren't just anchored to, a location or an object. If that particular person had a very strong tie to their loved ones, their grandchildren, their children, things like that, the spirit can find a way to make itself, move to that location, to be drawn to that person, because just like an entity, they're made up of energy. Mm-hmm. Just like our own bodies, we're made up of energy. So there's always that little GPS, as I could say, out there on ourselves that these entities could possibly track and find out where their favorite place would be to hang out with, or their favorite person to latch onto.
Yeah, I think obviously if there's a consciousness after we pass, people are going to want to, if they're going to want to visit somebody that they love, if that's capable, then I think it is possible. Again, and it's going to vary with everybody's own beliefs, but if you believe that your parents are visiting you, then take comfort in that, take comfort and solace in it, and if it helps you with the grieving process, that's great. Some people take that as a sign that they're looking over you. So where are you at state-wise? We are in Missouri. And have we ever been to the Sallie House? Actually, yeah. If you, after this live stream, if you go to season 2 on the playlist, we actually went to the Sallie House there and had a pretty interesting time. Barry got sick there.
Yeah, it seems like these things end up, the most active locations end up liking to play with my...
This place makes me sick.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as most people know, I do have some, a little bit of medical issues, but I'll tell you one thing, when you go from feeling perfectly fine, at 0 to all of a sudden getting sick immediately, 0 to 60, nothing flat, there's definitely something playing with your emotions, your body on that.
Let's see here. Green is still black. Dang. Okay. Angels is working now.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Santa Rosa? No, we have not. I have no idea where that's at.
Yeah, me neither. The sad thing is I've heard of that. I'm not 100% sure where it's at.
Scariest place we've ever been to. That's a tough one.
That is a toughie.
I mean, there's active locations and then scary locations. For me, when I'm in a location that I know of its like history, know previous experiences people have had, the Sallie House, for instance, you know, it's known to be a demonic haunting. There's places like that that I usually have trouble sleeping in. But there's been a lot of active locations we've been to. The scariest, I mean, as far as our own personal experiences, the scariest, that's a tough one. Maybe the Brown Mansion for me, because I've seen things happen to people that shouldn't happen to people.
Yeah.
And it happens whenever you don't expect it sometimes. So, I mean, it's a toss-up. It really is.
Yeah, it really is. On my own personal experience, I think it was actually a private location.
Carl Junction?
Carl Junction, yeah. It actually affected me for up to 2 weeks after the investigation. And I lost about 10 minutes of my life. The only way I know what was going on was reviewing the actual camcorder.
Yeah, we took him outside whenever he finally started coming to, and we showed him what happened on the camera. And basically, it was a possession. It only lasted, just like you said, about 10, 15 minutes. But it wasn't anything negative. We don't feel it was anything negative.
No.
It was just somebody wanting to come through, make contact, and you just happened to be the right guy to do it through.
Yeah, and it didn't help that I decided to take my grounding off and do a little bit of meditation to kind of open myself up. And yeah, I think the guys don't want me doing that too much anymore.
Let's see here.
Let's see.
Okay, Santa Rosa is in California. Yeah, we've not been to California yet. Let's see. Shanghai Tunnels in Portland was my scariest place. That's an interesting place. I've always wanted to go there since seeing it on TV.
Oh, any type of underground little cavern, or
we've done it twice now. The episode coming up, the Spanish Treasure Cave, and then we did the Stranica Salt Mine, which was a blast.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, 600 plus feet underground. You get scared. There ain't nowhere to go.
I guess that would be the scariest place, because at any time there's a lake above us, underground lake that's above us while we're underground, that at any moment's time could collapse and flood the whole place, and we would just die. So that was probably the most dangerous place that we've done.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like paranormal scary, not so much, but the possible flooding and us drowning.
Yeah. Just a whole rock coming down on your head. I don't know. Things happen. So let's see here. The worst place you've been?
Eureka Springs is a pretty scary place. Yeah, that's pretty much about another home for us for a little while.
I'll tell you what, Eureka Springs has got this energy about it that draws you in, and you feel like the historical value of the town. Just going into like the Crescent Hotel. A lot of people have been watching that lately. The Crescent Hotel is a magnificent place. Gorgeous beautiful place. Historical, creepy history, but I mean, you walk in there and you can feel the energy of this place. It's amazing. But you know, just going to Eureka Springs is like a yearly thing for us, so we enjoy going out there.
Oh yeah, we're always welcomed out there. Very nice people in Eureka. I mean, but then again, you know, Arkansas. There's quite a few locations in Arkansas where you just run into some really nice people. Yeah. And you know, it definitely stands in Eureka. You know, we're always welcomed in with open arms when we go there.
Yeah, the Crescent's always good to us. Let's see, worst place you've ever been? I've got two of them. They're not necessarily, they weren't really active or anything. It was just, they were horrible investigations. I think it was last year or the year before last. John and I went to a location out in Oklahoma. It was a private residence.
Oh.
As soon as we get there, there's two guys on the porch smoking weed. And then they go back off into their room and start doing meth.
That was the one you had me do a little investigation on, wasn't it? A little research on the location, made me call up the location and
maybe
talk to people.
In Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So we start going through there, because there was an elderly lady that lived there, we thought we'd do diligence. We stayed about 30 minutes. There was cockroaches everywhere, mice running around. There was dead mice on the kitchen floor, on the frickin' stove. I mean, it was the nastiest place I've ever been, or one of the nastiest places I've ever been. The second place was up in Joplin. We did a private residence where, again, the conditions were so bad that, I mean, we did due diligence. There was a kid there who's about 14 years old. They had a line in their kitchen going through the ceiling that was maxing out the digital EMF detector. 200 plus milligauss. You could smell the propane, the gas stove. You could see mouse crap coming from the wall about 3 inches away from the wall, piled up, just nasty. Spider webs everywhere. I mean, there's EMF everywhere. There was no air conditioning. This is in the middle of summer, and it was probably about 130 degrees in that house.
Oh God,
we were dying.
I was lucky I was not there at that one.
No, we probably stayed 2 hours at that one, and then we were like, you know what, this is enough.
I think the worst place I'd ever been to with you guys was I mean, it was really cool as far as the history goes. It has a lot of history in the town, but it definitely yielded no evidence. And oh my God, it had no heating, no nothing. And we decided to go out there in the middle of February.
When was this? Where was
Boonville.
This? Boonville. Oh, okay.
Boonville, Missouri.
Okay.
Ravenswood Mansion. That place is very awesome. It's got a lot of cool history behind it. But oh my God, that place was so freezing.
Yeah, it was probably like 20, 30 some degrees at night. We had to have the window open because we had to run the cords outside to plug in our DVR and everything else. Crazy. But it was a nice house.
It was.
Nice estate.
Very nice. Very clean, but
situation was wrong.
Yeah, it was, and then not to mention, we had to flip around and make a 5.5 hour track back home after investigating.
Yeah. That wasn't fun.
No,
Don't ever do that.
Don't ever do that.
If you're an investigator, for the love of God, get a hotel room.
Yeah. I had like a max out about 2 hour to 2.5 hour drive home because I can generally do that.
Yeah.
Anything longer than that, after a whole night of investigating plus the trip up there, it's just way too much.
Oh, absolutely.
Too dangerous.
Absolutely. Let's see here. Never been to Waverly Hills, not yet. Has anything ever followed me home? I'm gonna say yes, but for the most part, it doesn't bother me anymore. I mean, I still have something here. I've had an incident. If you go on our website, it's fourstateparanormal.com or .net, and go to the articles section. There's an article about the effects of ghost hunting, and it pretty much it'll tell you my story where I do believe something followed me home. It kind of affected my life in a negative way, and I mean, you can read that. I don't want to go into all the detail on here. Not that I'm not comfortable, just for time.
Yeah, I got too many things in my home for anything to follow me home.
It's just adding to a party.
Yeah, right. Dave's been there. He knows.
Yep. I've heard her.
Yeah, and apparently we also have a guy there that likes to whistle at Carmen when she's in the bedroom changing.
Not you?
Well, sometimes.
He likes to peek through the door just so he can live a pervert fantasy. I would do it. Hey guys,
I can't deny it. I got a hot fiance,
She's probably watching. She's like,
yeah,
what am I getting myself into?
Yeah, I'm gonna be sleeping on the couch tonight whenever we get home.
Maybe,
yeah.
So we really wanted to do this live Q&A. We want to tell you guys a little bit about how this season has gone. We want to talk a little bit about that. For those of you that have been following us, that have been watching, we want to talk about the season. Previous seasons we'll talk about as well. And we also want to let you guys know what's coming up for Haunting History, what our plans are, and everything like that. So let's get back into some of your questions here before we get into some of this other stuff.
Let's see.
Boonville, been there too?
What do you think would be the most haunted place? What do we think would be the most haunted place?
Place that we've been to?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Name one place you've been to and one place you haven't that you want to, that you think might be
Okay. Okay.
You know,
I think for me, the most haunted location that we have been to, it's a real tough one, real toughy, but I would honestly have to say Malvern Manor for me.
that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a real good one. Woo, that sucker. If y'all seen the episode, I end up ticking off something apparently, and it didn't like me too much, and it affected me for quite a little bit. So
Yeah, the season 2 finale. Yeah, you can definitely see how it affected you. That I had to leave like the whole 9 minutes where you're sitting there all by yourself. I had to leave that all in there just so you guys can see to what extent this really shook Barry up. I've never seen Barry shaken up like this.
no one has actually. Teddy, my buddy who came and watched the premiere that we aired that the same night as our season 3 premiere, he came up to me. He's like, "Brother, I have never seen you like that, and I've never felt like that day in my life. I mean, it's one thing being scared or feeling on edge,
Yeah,
but this was a whole different, intense type of feeling that it was kind of dread, not really scared, but it was kind of like dread and just, just heart-wrenching feeling.
and that place will do it to you. That place it'll get to you, and it's evident again. The season 3, we just got done releasing the 2-part episodes of Malvern Manor, where something affected Dawn, and not only did it affect Dawn, but it affected 2 others when we got back, and a lot of stuff had to happen. So I mean, that place, it's got its activity, but for me, Brown Mansion, Coffeyville, Kansas.
Yeah.
Because every time I've ever been there, and I've been there literally about 50 times.
We called that our second home.
Every time something happens, and it's just amazing. And the level of activity will range. I've seen physical activity where somebody was put through a chair. I've had communication through knocking for 45 minutes. We've seen shadows. We've seen apparitions there. We've had doors opening, closing. You hear audible voices. You see, everything happens.
And it wasn't just us that experienced it. We used to hold actual tours there for the Historic Society.
Yeah.
And I believe it was like the last group that we had seen someone walk across the window in the basement that was outside.
Yeah, everybody's seen this thing.
Everybody's seen this.
That was nuts.
I don't think I've had that many people confirm the same issue or experience that everyone else seen or heard or felt.
And that's why I like taking people to the Brown Mansion. Why I love doing those investigations is because everybody got to experience something. Whether you were a skeptic or not, we always had somebody experience something. But the craziest thing is, a long time ago, an old member, Gene, he got put through a chair. He had something go through him, and he broke a chair. Well, Spooks, Rick Park and them out of Kansas City, they've been there, and his son Nate actually had something hit him and actually broke a rib.
Oh, God. I didn't hear about that one.
Yep. So, yeah, that place is pretty active and pretty physical. So
that hits our list of what we've experienced. What do you think is the most haunted location out there that we have not been to yet?
Well, there's wants and needs and ideas that float out there because our bucket lists are like, it's not a bucket, it's like a dump truck.
Yeah.
Just because of the amount of depth there, I would think Waverly Hills would be up there.
Yeah.
It was estimated, I think, like 63,000 people passed through there. The Lizzie Borden house is up there with the, I still want to go there, check that out. But I've always had a thing about asylums and penitentiaries.
Yes, me too.
Because there's so much crap that goes into these places. And, your chances are increased of something lingering at these locations.
Yeah.
A place where one person dies is going to have a less chance than a place where 60,000 people die. I think so. Penitentiaries and asylums and stuff like that are right up there for me.
Yeah, Angel. By the way, you need to come out for a visit. It'd be great to have you.
28th of October.
That'll work.
Clear it up.
Yeah, clear that one up.
Hey, Carl. Carl from CC Paranormal is on here.
What's up, man? Oh, thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'd like to consider us real because, as you've probably seen from some of our episodes, if we don't get no evidence, we don't get no evidence, and we're not about to, fake something, talk something up more than what it is. We don't. I don't like to put that out there to people, get those misconceptions of these locations out there.
Yeah.
Plus, we're doing it. We love the paranormal stuff because it is entertaining. Because there are those situations that people say they've ran into out there, and I love debunking them, but it's the history.
The history is where everything starts from. I mean, even your hauntings, everything starts off somewhere, and that starting point, you have to go back through history to find it out. The reason we started haunting history was just so we can get the history of these locations out there. A lot of these locations are little museums and things like that, but they're not government funded. They all take donations just to stay afloat and to help out their volunteers. But without the public knowledge of these places being there, nobody goes to these places. So we thought it's a good way to try to get some of these locations out there for people to visit, to help out, send donations, do your research on the places. And
help
stuff.
preserve these historic sites for future generations to know about history, what's going on in their own community. It's just something that is really true to our hearts right there.
So another thing, just as an example, the Garnett House. We did 2 episodes this past season on it. Justin and Rob, they were actually about to buy a different place before getting the Garnett House. They were literally about to sign the papers for another place when something hit Justin and said, "You know what? Let's give it a little more time and have another look around." And he found the Garnett House, and the Garnett House was about to be torn down. This house is from 1858, and it's still got original wood from the original build. It's still like inside the walls. There's straw and stuff still stuffed in the walls for insulation. People like Jesse James were rumored to be there. The people that have known to be there were like Bat Masterson, Wyatt Earp, Buffalo Bill, Cody, Wild Bill Hickok, Bell Starr, John Brown. I mean, it's like a who's who of the Wild West, and luckily for that house, Justin and Rob were able to find it and preserve it. Mm-hmm. And they're still trying to raise money to do more renovations and preservation to the house. So I know they've got a website. They've got an Indiegogo up or a Ucaring to try to raise money to help the restoration projects. So if you look up the 1858 Garnett House Hotel on Facebook, there will be links in their page. So
definitely, that's another way you can help us, help them, help everyone preserve these locations for future viewings.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the history is just immaculate on what actually happened back in the days compared to modern technology that we have, and compared to the old technology they had where they're like, yeah, let me take this saw. I figure cut this leg off and it'll cure him. It'll stop the infection, and the guy ends up dying anyways because that's not the proper way to fix it, type thing.
Yeah.
So it just brings to light, how we've evolved as a society.
Yeah. What made you guys decide to start doing this as a profession? The funny thing is, this isn't our profession.
No.
I mean, we don't get paid to do this. This is something that we put out of our own pockets. I actually had quit my job 2 months ago to start filming. So I'm moving into the filming phase. I'm working on a documentary right now. I've got 2 other documentaries that I've been asked to help out on after I'm done with mine. So that's where I'm going. I'm taking a big, scary leap into trying to do something that I've wanted to do. I mean, you're kind of in filming, but not in the same category.
No, it's a little
it's something you get paid for.
yeah. They're actually, I just got hit up yesterday for another filming job, but Yeah, I mean, filming is something I've always been passionate about since I went to graphic design school. It was one of the things that you learn as a graphic designer because you learn multiple things like photo editing, illustrations, web design, and I just really hit on those that video portion. And,
Yeah.
I mean, heck, I ended up finding a job at a news station just so I could also, get more work with other types of film, which that's broadcasting. Definitely a whole different beast than post production.
Yes. Yes, I'd imagine so. And at least you get paid for that.
Yeah, I get paid for that. This stuff that we do right here, it's all out of our own pockets. We're not getting any money for it. This is one of the passions that we do have.
Yeah.
And I've always said, no matter how much you get paid, no matter where your finances are, you can generally always figure out how to get around it to make yourself happy and do what you love.
Yep. Are demons spirits too? I would assume so.
I like to use the word entity.
Yeah.
I like more spirits along the lines of your human-based type of spirits. But there's so many different terminologies and how people view things. Some people may call a demon a spirit. Other people may call all ghosts demons. It all varies on your belief. I believe demons are a type of entity out there, and that spirits are usually, from a human spirit, a soul that has been left here behind or decided to stay behind or traumatically was stuck here.
See, that's why we come to him with certain things. A couple people want to know what we're talking about for October 28th. It's a Halloween party.
Yeah, it's not 100% confirmed yet. We're still working on the clubhouse. I actually have a piece of property I thrown an event at years back, so it's already pretty much set up with outlets and things. And me and my buddy Teddy, we have connections to many musicians, many vendors like bounce houses, things like that.
Yeah.
And we're looking at throwing a big bash, like a grand opening for our clubhouse and big bash for Halloween for families of around the area to come and enjoy themselves. We're even incorporating it's like a full day thing that we want to do.
Yeah.
To where in the morning up until the evening we're gonna have stuff for kids to do, like bounce houses. Hopefully I can get houses out there. Knocker balls.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that we've had connections on knocker balls and with me and Teddy on the previous events.
Those better stay there afterwards.
Right. But we want to have it to where it's a family thing, to where everyone can have a great Halloween bash. Once it gets closer to the evening, the parents can take the kiddies on home. To babysitters, other family members, whatever, and then come back, and then the adult party starts. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Let's see here. Hello, love your vids. Keep it up. Thank you, Elite Irish.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate the support.
Let's see. I'm totally lost. Dave, you shave your head. I cut it down. It was getting a little hot. Same with the beard. I wanted to grow my beard out in even lengths.
Yeah.
And I usually had the goatee going, but I went ahead and shaved. It looks funny, I know.
I thought you looked a little funny when I was walking up here.
Yeah. So
did Don just get a little smaller and goofier looking?
Yeah, right. Like it's some other fat guy with a tiny head. I have a tiny head. No, I just wanted to grow the beard out in even lengths, and with that goatee, the goatee would get long, and yeah. So that's why I shaved. It'll be back. Don't worry about it.
But it won't be very long.
It won't be very long. I can't. I don't have the patience for that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of patience. And heck, to get anything longer, I'm actually getting ready to purchase a couple more beard kits that I've researched for, like beard oils, shampoos, and there's even one kit that comes with a beard hardener to help your hair strengthen at the follicles and the strands strengthen, so like you ain't gotta roll over and pluck them out.
Yeah.
So hey, maybe next season you'll see this sucker down in here. Who knows?
Let's see here. Let me scroll down. I've been keeping these from scrolling too fast. Let's see. They've done some nice, or they've done some since. Okay. Okay. Do you know why people who are your family die in different parts of the world go back home to you? I think we kind of touched on that.
Yeah, we pretty much touched on that.
They should never tear down an old place. I'm all for the love, history, be safe. Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate that, Barbara, and we totally agree.
Definitely.
Go, Dave. Reason why I'm asking is my
My
grandparents.
grandparents are here with me.
Okay. Isabella, like I said, you know, if um, it, it's all going to boil down to your beliefs, honestly, because nothing in this field is fact. Okay, everything is theoretical. Um, so, you know, if it is your grandparents that have come back, take comfort in that. If it becomes more of a problem than anything, reach out to your local paranormal team, talk to them. They'll be more than happy to come out and help find out. Just make sure that they're a pretty reputable team, that people trust them and everything.
And I will say this, if they're charging you to come out to check out your place, it's not a reputable team. We've been doing this for years, and have we charged a single residence
Nope.
to come out and help them out?
Nope.
No. I've even been contacted over Facebook about a possible issue that was way off from here. I just got a video sent to me from one of our buddies, Steve Hayes, and I had to do my own research, demonology, however you want to say it. But I did a lot of my research on my findings and was able to help them. It took me quite a few hours and a couple days to sift through all my information. And you know, it's we want to help each other out there. We don't want to sit there and put each other in the hole or make you feel like you can't find any help because you don't have fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, we've been asked several times, how much do you charge? And when we tell people we don't charge, like, really? Like, yeah, really. I mean, there's no sense in charging because number one, I feel it's selfish to charge because part of the reason we're doing this is because we want our own answers. And why am I going to charge somebody for allowing me to come into their place to try to find my own answers?
Yeah, exactly.
And number two, of course, yes, I'm helping them, but you know, they're providing me with a location to investigate and to continue my research. So
exactly.
Yeah, charging's out of the question.
Yeah. Looks like Jim, you do a lot of private residence. We used to do a lot, actually.
John and I will do from time to time private residence. I know the reason Barry hasn't been on some of these is because he works during the week and can't get out to these locations. So usually John and I will go out to some of these places. In fact, we have one that's contacted us that we're probably going to go look at here pretty soon. And, you know, I mean, a lot of these private residences, we don't broadcast, we don't put into the show because it is private, unless, you know, the homeowner's okay with it. Like we did one in the first season, and he was totally fine with it. Of course, we were just starting out, and we just needed locations. So the private residences, you just don't see it a whole lot from us because we don't put it out there. Let's see. Be nice, please. We don't want to be mean. Do you like to investigate cemeteries?
For me, that's a yes and a no.
Right.
I love we've been to Newtonia. I love the history behind it. You know, some of these soldiers you can get the names off of, and you know, it's also, you know, kind of sad. You know, I don't like feeling sad, but it kind of is sad whenever you go and see all these unmarked graves from the war and everything.
Yeah, they're just a cross that says unknown. And
So I mean, the history is just phenomenal. I love that part about it. It's definitely tragic what happens, but also as far as trying to get evidence, I don't much care for it because you have so much outside influence. The only thing you can really rely on is possibly something visual. I mean, especially during the summer, you know, what do they call it? The crickets, and all that other.
With Newtonia, I mean, sometimes you'll hear gunshots and you'll hear cannon fire out there as well. I've captured some really clear EVP out of there, but with cemeteries in general, yeah, there's too much outside interference. That's the reason why I don't like investigating outdoors because of that.
Mhm.
The bugs, there's so many different variations of things from temperature, from the humidity, barometric pressure, stuff that can affect your equipment, can affect the way you perceive things, or how you capture things. So I try to shy away from cemeteries unless it's like something that looks really awesome, has a lot of history behind it and a lot of activity behind it. I may go there, but
Yeah,
it's really iffy.
Like Peace Church Cemetery, for example.
Yeah,
that one. I mean, everyone in Joplin, and even people outside of Joplin that have made the trip to Peace Church Cemetery, have said that. I mean, you get in there and most of the people I've talked to about it have come out with like bruises or like 3 scratches on them, and I mean, those kind of places just really intrigue me. Now, don't get me wrong, while we're out there, we respect all of the grave sites.
Mm-hmm.
You won't see us sitting on a headstone or doing anything crazy like that because I mean, these people you need to respect. They've lived their lives, now they want to rest in peace. But if there's bad things going on out there, evil things going on out there, I want to know about it so we could possibly stop that and let the rest of them rest.
Yeah. Now I know this is on a delay from what we're talking about and what we're saying. By the time it gets to you, it's probably like 10, 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So in the comments, guys, I want to know who all has watched some of the 3rd season because we're going to be talking a little bit about that here shortly, and but we're going to get through the rest of your questions here. So I'll give you some time to type in there. Let's see here. You ever come across haunted objects? Possible. I mean, I've heard of and I've seen objects that people claim were haunted, but never actually had any activity around them.
Now, have we encountered a spirit or another entity that didn't like us messing with certain objects? Yes. I mean, prime example, Malvern and Gracie's glasses.
Yes.
She does not like you touching her glasses. So definitely speak up or let you know what's what.
Brown Mansion still lets you investigate. The Brown Mansion they have turned fickle.
Yeah.
They don't want to be associated with the paranormal. They don't want to be known for that. They want to be known for having these allowing weddings and doing stuff like that. So they've tried to shy away from the paranormal. Now they do let people investigate there. Unfortunately, it's not worth it. Well, I say it's not worth it, but for me, it's worth it.
Yeah, it would still be worth it. I mean, even if you haven't, it would still. I mean, no matter what time of the day they would let you investigate, I would say test it out.
They have tours on Saturdays, but they do let people investigate there from 7 p.m. to midnight, and it's $200 to investigate. So by the time you get your equipment set up and tore down, you've got a couple hours to investigate. That's it.
Maybe 4, yeah.
So
if that.
If you think that's worth it to you, I recommend going out there. I mean, I've seen stuff during the day too out there. I've seen shadows in daylight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that place was so active that you're most likely going to have something going on.
Yeah.
Even during the day.
Ever been scratched or attacked?
Well, I'm like a magnet for that kind of stuff. I've been only actually physically like scratched to where you can actually see something. I think it was twice, but they have messed with my emotions.
This guy gets messed with more than anybody I've ever seen. Part of it's my fault.
Yeah, they kind of sick them on me from time to time. I mean, heck, my first investigation with you at the Brown Mansion. He ended up sicking something on me while I was supposed to be reviewing footage on a recorder. Everything shut down on me. It was like I had a virus on it. Just one little thing would not work after another, and then all of a sudden, everything went out.
Yeah.
He comes back up. I'm like, dude, battery's dead or something because I can't get this thing turned back on. It was still plugged into the wall. So I don't know.
Touching you. When I'd send him down, like he would be in the basement of the Brown Mansion. I'd be up on the 2nd floor, and I'd be, he wouldn't know what I'm saying, of course, and I'd say something along the lines of, if there's anybody here, if you want to play a prank on somebody, there's a bald guy downstairs in the basement. Why don't you go down there and stroke his beard or pull on his shirt or rub his head or flick his ears? And sure enough, this stuff would happen to him. And the most amazing one, I think, was that we had a guy with us one night, and he kept turning on his freaking flashlight.
Yeah.
And on 2 occasions, I asked something to knock the flashlight out of his hands. And the second time, he was down in the basement, I was upstairs. And I said, you know, surely this guy's got his flashlight on. If you would do me a favor, go out there and smack that out of his hands. And they come up at the end of the session, and you can tell them what happened.
Oh yeah, I was down there, and it was the most random thing because I had no idea what Dave was doing upstairs, and we were all just sitting there trying to start our EVP session, and this newcomer, I don't know what his obsession was with turning on the light, but he all of a sudden clicks that sucker on, and no more than just a couple seconds into that light being on, it gets thrown halfway down this basement, and I'm talking, this is a full basement.
It's a long freaking basement.
It's a long way.
Place.
And it's when that happened, we're like, what the hell? Why are you throwing that? And he's like, dude, I did it. We ended up taking a look at his hand. His hand was red, like someone just smacked the far out of his hand.
That's the last time he ever investigated with us.
No, he went to the Crescent.
Oh, was it? That's the same guy?
Oh, yeah, that was the same guy. He went after that.
After that, yeah, he
he was done. He couldn't take it anymore.
Let's see here. I think we may have missed.
Yeah, we ended up missing a couple there, I think.
Okay,
House on Haunted Hill, St. Joe. Hey, Drea. That's my friend Jesse's old lady, the one that.
He didn't mean old.
Yeah, I didn't say old. O-L.
Ole.
But
yeah, House on Haunted Hill. I've heard a lot about that through Eli and Apex and through Ali. Ali told me a lot about it, so you might be checking that out.
Mm-hmm.
Holy water don't really work in a haunted place.
I've never actually tried.
I think holy water is more aimed for like negative entities.
Yeah,
I would think.
I would think so. I mean, some people say it can help on objects, but I usually see it mostly on people themselves.
Yeah.
But still, some of that stuff I'm still iffy on. I have to take the word of a cleanser. I call them cleansers. You can call them whatever you want. But it's people who have that experience in that. Me, I'm the researcher to find out if you got something bad going on. As far as like cleansing that out of there, I'm not too keen on that knowledge. So
yeah, the let's see, HPRO is going to Malvern this weekend. I can't go.
Best of luck, guys. Sorry, Angel, you can't go.
Yeah. Malvern Manor best episodes. Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
CC. I don't know which one is on there. Is there any subjected to the ideas that spirits can be attracted to certain colors due to the wave frequencies they give off?
We tried an experiment like that a long while back.
Yeah.
What was it? We tried a red bulb, and then we tried.
I tried black lights for a long
light.
time.
Yeah.
For a while because of the light frequency.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's an interesting thought. It's just something that has to have more experimentation on. We do a lot of experiments in our investigations. A lot of the time, it doesn't make it into the show because a lot of times nothing's happening. But we do a lot of Facebook Live stuff from time to time that we'll do some of the experiments, like the phone and EVP sessions, and everything like that. So.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. Well, that may be another set of experiments that we have to kind of fandangle and get our old mad scientists to work up a couple different things on.
Yeah.
Yeah, John is, moon face lighting. He is incredible. But his
if you say you want something, this guy's going to do something about it.
Yeah, I actually have him working on 2 personal lights of mine that I wanted engineered up, and he's getting on those, cracking those out, and hopefully this next season. Yep. They'll make their appearance. And what do we got here? Where would you rate the Sallie House? Tough one for me. I love the Sallie House and its history. When I was there, I had a little bit of experience, but you've been there a little bit more than me.
Yeah, I've been there twice. First time we had some really really interesting stuff happened. Um, I actually seen a figure of a little girl, not in front of me, but in a window. I went upstairs. This is funny, guys. We were probably investigating for less than a year, and we decided we were going to go to the Sallie House. And I go upstairs. Mike, my co-founder at the time, was watching the monitors. I go upstairs and I'm taking pictures of all the toys in Sally's room, so we can do like a before and after to see if any of them move. And as I'm taking pictures, the flash is going off, blinded me, and I didn't want to get blinded again, so I looked away, snapped a photo. Well, when I looked away, I looked at the window, and as the flash went off, I saw this little girl standing next to me in the damn window, and my heart dropped, my throat went up, and I'm like, oh, I'm out of here. So I start walking downstairs. I hadn't said anything, and Mike's like, hey, David, go back upstairs and take some more pictures again. I thought I saw something. And I just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So I go back upstairs, start snapping off some more photos. I come back down. I didn't tell him what happened. Didn't tell anybody the entire night what happened. On the way back, I tell Mike, and he's like, that's why you were like that when you didn't want to really go back upstairs. I'm like, yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
But a couple members ended up getting sick there at the same time, which is really weird. Gene, one of my old members, he ended up getting affected to where it was more of an emotional kind of thing, not like crying, but anger. We drove like 5 hours to get there. He was so angry that he was ready to leave right then and there. Like, we had just got there. He was there for maybe an hour by himself. Well, him and Tabby were there for about an hour, unloading equipment and setting it up. And yeah, he was so angry that he was ready to leave right then and there. So we took him outside of the house, out into the street, and talked to him a little bit. And he finally started calming down. He started realizing I had nothing to be mad about. There was no reason for that. And we're like, yeah, we know.
That's why we got you out. That's why we moved you.
So the second time when we went back to the Sallie House, of course I was on edge the whole time because I know whatever's there, what it's capable of. But we really, aside from what happened to you, we really didn't have any experiences. John had a personal experience. But other than that, we didn't experience much. So Sallie House, I wouldn't say, let's say out of 5 stars, I would probably give it like a 3.5, 4 stars.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. I mean, not a lot happened to me besides getting sick, and I felt a little on edge at times. The one thing that made me feel really weird, though, was whenever we decided to play, hey, let's throw Barry here and see what happens. And I went through the wall back in to where the portal is supposedly, going through and creating all this energy. That like on edge feeling.
Well, when you were in there, I kept hearing like bangs and stuff right behind me.
Yeah.
So
and
that put me on edge.
Yeah, it put you on edge. But whenever I finally got back there, as far as I could get,
yeah,
I felt calm,
which is weird.
Which that right there, if I go into a really freaky place that I know, like Denise, I know she's had hundreds of experiences there.
Yeah.
As well as multiple other investigators have been there. Whenever I start feeling calm in a place, that's when it really starts worrying me. It's like, okay, what's this thing gonna do? What's going on? So yeah, definitely a 3.5 out of 5. I have to say that'd be pretty accurate there.
Like we're like I'm only quarter century old.
That's yeah. If I'm believing right, that's Drea's mom.
Where was your favorite place to investigate? I think we went over that a little bit. Brown Mansion for me is one of them. Malvern's up there.
Yeah, those are my 2 favorite
the Crescent
ones.
Hotel, I always love going there. Just that feeling of being there is why it's really up there. Plus, we catch a lot of activity there.
One we can't actually say that's in Arkansas, and it's a sanitarium that we've been to, and whew, that place will put you on edge. Never had anything too bad happen there, but it'll definitely put you on edge.
Let's see, Dave and his experiments. LOL. I think Pennhurst would be the most haunted. It very well could be. There's a lot of places out there that'll vie for that most haunted title. So, all right, let's get into this past season. the first episode, we started off with the Bonnie and Clyde Joplin hideout.
Yeah.
We had no expectations of this place whatsoever.
Zero. I was like, oh, we got this cool place to do. Don't really expect much because at that time, I just knew it was a hideout of theirs.
Yeah.
What's a hideout going to yield? Some Cheetos, maybe?
Like we literally just did this place for the history, okay? And obviously the history's there. It's Bonnie and Clyde, Then you learn of the shootout with the police where 2 officers were killed at the location. And, from there, your excitement gets up a little bit because, hey, there's been some tragedy here. But still the expectations weren't up.
No. It was everything really felt calm to, and just kind of inquire, see if we could dig up anything.
Yeah.
It was one of those what ifs.
So, obviously heard voice at the beginning of the night when we were down in the garage. We heard voices upstairs, not it wasn't where you can like hear it like I'm talking now, but it was so faint and in the background. You're like, did I just hear something? Did I hear a woman say something, or did I hear? Yeah. But the fact that we were able to capture a couple things was really tremendous, because of the time frame that it happened was about the time that we were hearing these voices. In the episode at the end, you actually hear Dawn say, "Did you guys hear that?" On one of the voices. So, and Dawn, this is something I want to address first and foremost, really, regarding the entire season. We didn't realize it at the time. If you watched the last 2 episodes on Malvern Manor and seen what happened to Dawn and how it affected everybody, at that time we realized that Dawn was a sensitive. She had some kind of ability. But what we didn't realize, and we didn't put 2 and 2 together, was this started way before Malvern. This started at the Bonnie and Clyde hideout.
Yeah, it did. That's where she actually initially felt, that overwhelming sense that where we literally had to get her out of the building.
Yeah, she got shaky and she had to get out, and she got emotional because she felt somebody else's feelings.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to Malvern, and this is her first time there, and something attaches itself to her.
Just grabbed a hold of her.
And
that's what it was.
It was intense. And I'll tell you, that second day that we were there and second night, it was a battle to even be able to investigate, because you guys, I don't think the episode even does it justice, because there wasn't any filming shot of any of this. But Dawn kept wanting to go upstairs. She kept trying to sneak upstairs to get to that room, which was ill-advised. There was, it was just a bad thing. We wanted to keep her away from whatever was affecting her, and obviously we didn't really do that because we were still in the building. And but the fact that she kept wanting to go up there and stay in there was pretty disturbing, and the fact that John had to force her out, like he physically pushed her out of the room. He had to push her down not throw her down the stairs, but he had to force her down the stairs and had to get her out of there physically. So that startles you, that disturbs you as an investigator when one of your team members is affected so bad. And to try to investigate, we had to keep an eye on her. Somebody had to be with her at all times. It wasn't fun.
And I'll tell you what, whenever she disappeared those few times, trying to get back
we're
up
all
there, I'll tell you what, my heart, because my prior experience there, I know what it had just did to me, and I knew it had a hold of her.
Yeah.
Me, it just affected me, but it didn't have a hold of me. So whenever it just gripped onto her like that, it was, she'd go disappearing. It was that. I think that would have to be scary right there. Something I would actually have to say what I was scared of.
That was pretty damn disturbing, honestly. I've been doing this for 11 years, and I have not once been on an investigation where it happened to that extent. I've seen Gene, he was angry for 5-10 minutes. I've seen you under for 5 or 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen other people that I've been affected.
Yeah.
Not to the extent like that, but to where I've had other thoughts in my head, had the angry feeling, but I had an awareness about it. So that extent for so long, I mean, that was new to me. And I'm glad that over the 11 years I've been able to reach out to other people and have people I could reach out to try to help in situations like that, because sometimes you do need it, and that's part of the whole paranormal unity. So
yeah. So I mean, this season, it's definitely been very interesting one. We've had locations where we just had a lot of good history behind them, not really much evidence, but definitely something you may want to check out and even support to keep that history around. And a couple other locations have been surprising, just like the Bonnie and Clyde.
That was way surprising. That was totally surprising.
I was so shocked on that one. It was. I think that would have to be, besides what happened to Dawn, would have to be my most shocking surprise location of events. It was just insane. Now
the Garnett House, actually, that one wasn't even scheduled to be on the season. We got he messaged me, Justin Spurrier messaged me, and was talking to me about the house and asked if we would like to come out and film there. And we had some time, and we're like, you know what, let's go out there and film.
Mm-hmm.
So we went out there for 2 days and 2 nights and filmed. And I'm not going to say I wasn't expecting there to be activity, because I've heard EVPs that Justin captured. I've heard his stories. I've heard the history. Well, I take that back. He talked up the place.
Yeah.
It wasn't until day 2 that I actually heard the EVPs, and we all heard.
That was the day I arrived.
That was the day you arrived.
Yeah.
But he did tell us some of the history about the place. None of the tragedy, but the history is really what got my fascination on it from the get-go.
Oh yeah.
And I knew that there had to have been something there, because he just seemed too excited about the place.
Yeah, and Justin's another great investigator out there who knows his stuff and doesn't get too easily overexcited.
Yeah.
So whenever he was getting that excited, and I just met the dude for the first time personally.
Mm-hmm.
I just heard you talk about him. I seen some of the stuff on Facebook. And so, I had a good feeling about this guy. And then once we started investigating, I mean, our first interview of that night, whenever I was there.
Yeah. During the day, we're sitting there interviewing Rob, and we hear this. It's like, the hell was that? And it came from the room behind me, which later in the episode you see like the Justin's REM pod going off, and it was like it's one of those early stages before the REM pods were the REM pods.
Yeah,
he's got all kinds of freaking equipment.
Oh yeah,
stuff like that. But yeah, it started going off up there in the same room, and that actually happened maybe 5-10 minutes after we finished the interview with Rob.
Yeah. So and it was caught on our cameras, which these mics are just your normal
directional.
They're directional mics. So when we're facing him and we're catching audio behind us,
it had to have been loud.
Yeah, it had to have been loud. So that was definitely one of our crazy ones for the season.
Yeah.
All in all, it was a real good season this year.
It really was. Not that it's over. We do have 2 more episodes coming up.
Yes.
And the next episode we got coming out, the history behind it is going to be probably the oldest history that we've had so far with haunting history. This one's going to deal with Spanish conquistadors.
Oh, yes.
Hiding treasure. And we kind of, it almost felt like, I felt like I wanted to do a treasure hunt on this investigation
right.
More than anything, because there's hidden treasure in this location. And the location is the Spanish Treasure Cave in Graffit, Arkansas. And we learned a little bit about the history on this one. Some great history. We talked to the owners. They had some stuff to show us. I've been trying to get this interview from him. He's trying to get me supposed to be getting me the audio for it,
Mhm.
the interview from like the 1940s or 60s or something like that. But some really awesome stuff to see in this place. It was a great place to even just be.
Oh yeah, I mean, heck, I think they do tours out there even.
They do tours. They do a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah, I mean, it even just if you're not even going to investigate, it's just a cool place to go into, and how deep they actually will take you into these caves.
Yeah.
Because I know there are some places that have caves and stuff, but you make like 2, maybe 3 caverns in,
Yeah,
and that's about it.
Yeah.
This place, I mean, you're going down a big old
that opening. Oh my god!
I mean, it was like a
That's
ballroom. You just walked into.
Now there is one passage that they've said goes 16 miles. 16 miles of caverns.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Although we couldn't go back there because of the flooding that happened. So
I really wanted to go back in there though.
We can make that happen.
Yeah, I really wanted to make the trip.
Now the season finale, which is going to be after that, so we got 2 more episodes coming out. The season finale, you are taking the reins on.
Yes, I've been taking the reins on that one, editing it and going through some of the footage and stuff. And it's some of our local known favorites, and we got 2 locations on this one.
We kind of changed it up on for the season finale. We actually originally had planned to do this town of Avila that we've been to for. We did an investigation there with KY3 News out of Springfield, but the news story got pulled because people complained. So we decided that we were going to do this on our own, and we went out there. Unfortunately, all of our contacts and everybody, like one of the houses, one of the locations was gone.
Mm-hmm.
The people that we had been in contact with before, they were not there, so we had to go on the fly. And we changed it up, and we are dealing with a couple local legends.
Yes.
So we spent all night really kind of driving around to these 2 different locations and seeing some really cool stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, there was some interesting stuff that we were able to explain afterwards.
Yeah.
And other stuff which I was able to find while I was going through editing and stuff. Whenever me and Charles were by ourselves on the other end, and it's still unexplainable on what it could possibly be. I mean, I was able to, figure out one of the 2 things that we had.
Yeah.
But that other one, it was just really weird. So the season finale, I don't think I want to tell them where it's going to be at yet.
I wouldn't.
Nah.
Season finale should be kind of fun.
Yeah, it should be.
We had a blast doing it.
Yeah, and but I do have to warn people on this one. Let them know that with the history of these 2 locations, there's not a whole lot. There's all there really is speculations and theories.
Right.
We've dug and dug. I mean, we even hit the local library, and we couldn't find any hard evidence of origin of any of these stories and happenings.
There's so many stories that they all interlace, and it just how stories go. They get passed down. They get reworded and reworked. So.
All right.
What else, Balba? It's a scary place to venture. So, I don't know. I've never been there.
Okay. Jim's the last question. Why don't spirits want to cross the light? Whew. That's a long list.
I'm sure there's possibly various reasons. One, they're afraid to. They're afraid of judgment. 2, they don't know. They don't know how. Sometimes, one of the theories out there is that when some people die of a tragic and sudden death, that they don't even have the awareness that they're dead.
Yeah.
So they just kind of walk around or whatever. And
that's where you can get some of your malevolent spirits from, is the frustration of going, hey, come here.
You get pissed off enough. I mean, it's.
And your energy rises. I mean, your blood, your blood boils. You get hot and stuff from being so angry. Their energy could charge in the sense that all of a sudden you're having these things flying off your wall, and it's like, what the heck's going on? So, I mean, why? Not 100% sure, but speculating. There's 100 reasons.
Yeah, so many reasons. Staying back for a place that you loved, or a loved one, or something you wanted to take care of, unfinished business. There's
even to the point of something else stopping you.
Yeah.
Like at some of these asylums, we found entities that pretty much reign supreme there, and won't let these other things go.
Mm-hmm.
Won't let these other entities, spirits, what have you, get out of there. So, do we know what for sure? Nah, but we can speculate.
Let's see. Trans-Allegheny, never been there yet.
Where?
Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in West Virginia.
No, that would be nice though.
Yeah. Let's see. If you ever come to LA, I would love to go on an investigation. You know what? If we come to LA, we'll take you up on that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because speaking of LA and West Virginia and stuff, we've been kind of talking about some interesting things we want to do for season 4.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about what's coming up. What we're doing right now. Mid filming, I guess would be the right phrase, because we've already filmed. We're just putting these episodes out there and biding our time. Currently, right now, I'm working on a documentary called Into the Light. It's a exploration of the spook light phenomena. There's a lot of locations around the country and around the world, in fact, that people see these mysterious balls of light. A lot of these can be explained. A lot of them can be theorized as to their origin, like swamp gas or minerals being crushed and generating electric charge in the atmosphere. But some of these can't be explained, and that's what we're setting out to do. Myself and Josh Hurd of Malvern Manor are putting this together. This is my first step into the whole documentary film, full feature-length film realm. But I think filming haunting history and stuff like that has really prepared me for this task, and I just felt the time was ready to do something. And honestly, there's no feature-length documentary on that. So that's what I'm doing currently. I've got a couple other projects that are kind of sitting on the back burner right now. The paranormal studies, I'm going to be starting that back up. I've got 8 episodes prepared to film. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, me personally right now, I'm just wrapping up the season finale. I just got probably about another day of editing work on it because, like I did say, I got a day job where I'm up real early. I work at our local news station, actually both of them now, KSN and KOD, because my skills and I love doing what I do. So just went full time, so that's taking up a little bit of my time right now. But I'm currently also researching some locations for our season 4, seeing what kind of other big places that people are definitely well known of that we could get into.
This is the thing. We want to make season 4 amazing.
Yes.
We want to make this next season a badass season that, for just like a regular paranormal team doing their own show, we want to make this like on the next level.
We want to step it up for you guys out there.
We definitely want to bring our A game on this.
You guys have been so supportive of us, and we want to bring you this next season to just jump that level and get right up there.
So what we're planning on doing is we're going to try to hit some of the most well-known locations locally and in other parts of the country. We're going to hit some really well-known locations, stuff that we know that you guys are going to be interested in. We're still going to dig into the history, because one of the locations, I'm not going to say the location just yet because we really shouldn't.
Yeah, because I haven't got 100% confirmation on it.
They're more about bringing out the history of this location, whereas some of these other shows like Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, and stuff, they interviewed other paranormal investigators and they didn't really delve into the history.
Yeah, they didn't get the actual true firsthand experience of this place.
So, we want to really step in, and we want to get into these places in a way, like we want to bring these places to you in a way that most, like some of these television shows haven't done yet.
No.
They'll tell you a little bit about the history, but not much. We want to bring that history to you. We want to get you more familiar with these locations. So we're going to be going big. It's go big or go home.
Yeah, pretty much. That's our 4th season. Yeah, it's pretty much going to be. And on a side note, what I've got going on is as soon as we get this season wrapped up and I kind of get my schedule all worked out, I should be bringing back the belief before the end of this year.
There you go.
For those of you who don't know, I did a little 4-episode little series last December-ish time, and I just cover what I like to call the what ifs. It's not factual; it's what you believe, and I present things to you, such as in the way of what was one of my major things that I did. I had talked about multiple dimensions in the paranormal, matrixing, things like that. Are we truly here, or are we actually, like in the Matrix, asleep somewhere, locked up, and don't know that this is just our subconscious doing all this stuff. Other stuff varies into the religious. If you've read Chariot of the Gods, ever, it kind of along that lines. Aliens, gods, religion, and then I'm even diving a little bit into conspiracy in my first set of series, which that's what's going to be a little different about this one. I'm going to do it in a set of series, little sets of mini-series. It's going to be over the occult and secret societies.
Nice.
Yeah, it should be pretty fun.
Where are they going to be able to see that
at? I'll actually be creating a special YouTube or a special Facebook for that, for the belief. But I'll be having it on my my business channel on YouTube called Triune Entertainment. For those of you who need it, it's TRIUNE Entertainment. It's on YouTube. It's got a big old triple T on there for the logo. You can find me on there, subscribe, and everything. And click the little bell button, the little alert, so whenever my videos start plopping out there, you'll get the notification and be able to catch all of my episodes. So that should definitely be fun.
Yeah. I kept telling you need to bring that back, and we keep waiting. But also going to be showing that on Paranormal Warehouse.
Yeah, I just about to say that.
On ParanormalWarehouse.com's Facebook page. They do live streams of different podcasts. John and I do one called Paranormal Frequencies. And, you can find that on Sundays at 6. But, they bring in not just anybody, but they bring in certain people to do these podcasts. And they're going to be hosting Barry on there as well.
Yep. They actually got in contact with me, and I kind of give them a spiel of, what I have done and what I'm looking to do. And it's going to look like a great opportunity for, everyone who follows, Paranormal Warehouse, plus all the people who normally follow me, to kind of get together, see what I'm going to throw out there. And then, like I was saying with the YouTube, that will be more of the post-production episodes where I'll have additional videos I'll throw in, additional graphics. It'll still pretty much be the same show.
Yeah.
I'll just have it's just a little additives in there that you won't be able to catch on a live broadcast.
Now, another thing I want to put out there, this October, we are going to do a live investigation for Halloween. It's not going to be on Halloween night, though, because everybody's going to be dealing with trick-or-treaters, or going out, or doing something. The 28th, everybody's already got plans for the 28th. So we're going to try to do this, I have to put my calendar, I think it's the 20th, which is a Saturday. So October 20th, we're going to actually try to do a live streaming investigation right here on our YouTube channel.
Yep.
And the location is going to be one of 2 locations, but more than likely it's going to be the Garnett House. And we are going to be working with Justin Spurrier, and Jason Kupsik is going to join us from the Ectoplasm Show. He's going to be out there investigating with us as well. So it's going to be an all-night thing. So if you're not prepared to stay up all night, at least you can watch part of it and then catch the rest of it later on down the road.
Let me scroll up here real quick. By the way, Angel, you did nail it on the head. That is one of my secret societies I'm going to be talking about. It's got a lot of history behind it. Good old Skull and Bones. But I did see something up here we needed to see. Oh, yeah, Juice. By the way, the Juice. Get a hold of me on Facebook, Barry Tidwell. You can find me and everything, I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the stuff you've been putting down here, about the alternate realities and stuff like that. Wrapping up a season blunt wrap. Well, I might need to get a hold of you anyway. No. But yeah, get a hold of me on Facebook. I want to chat with you about some of your information, maybe some of the research and locations you have on there. Also, what do we have here?
Hey, Kelly.
Hey.
Glad you could join us.
Let's see. Stash. That's awesome. Was there anything else on there that I was looking at?
While you're looking, so yeah, guys, we appreciate everybody for the support that you've shown us here on Haunting History. Over the last few days, we've grown exponentially. Our subscribers has been blowing up over the last 3 days. It's been great. We hope you guys share the videos on your Facebooks, your Twitters, Instagrams, whatever. We appreciate everything you guys do, we're really looking forward to doing the season 4. And really, the good thing about being in the field this long is you network and you tend to know a lot of people that have some really awesome haunted places. So, we've got some people to get in touch with. So. I can't wait to start filming on season 4. I think it's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane. I'm gonna love it, and not to mention the travel that I want to do with this season.
The traveling's gonna be fun. That's what I have a lot of joy in is getting out on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Although
this time I'm gonna have to get over my whole sleeping in strange places
you
thing.
are. You need to.
I have a thing against sleeping in strange places because I don't sleep. Am I scared? No. It's just I'm not familiar with it, so I may nod off. I mean, you see me. I'm not off for like maybe 2 hours, and I'm up, ready to go. All right, let's get packing and get out on the road. Do you use psychics in your investigation? Well, Andrea. Andriana, sorry.
I actually, I'm not a big believer in everybody being psychic. Because there are a lot of people out there that'll claim to be psychic and they're really not, or they just haven't honed their skills. I have used a psychic here and there, and one in particular, she's been in the chat room here.
Yeah.
You can find her on the Paranormal Studies video that I put on here. She did an experimental thing with me, and it turned out so good. I mean, she was 90% accurate on like everything.
Yeah, it's just mind blown, I tell you.
And so there's very few that I actually trust to, share information with. So bringing in a psychic's not like my big personal preference, but I have talked to some regarding investigations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have some other stuff that I want to personally try that I will not tell you guys about because I don't want you trying it because it is. I kid you not, this will not be safe. It is not something, I mean, a lot of stuff I want to try to capture on film to let people know about why you shouldn't do this stuff. Especially if you believe in the spiritual, the demonic, the evil entities out there, I will be placing myself in harm's way on some of these things.
Is this kind of in reference? You told me about this guy wanting us to film something.
That was one. There was actually a guy who, which I think I did see a question about, is black magic bad? In my personal opinion, if you perform any kind of magic, white, black, neutral, I don't care. It's not necessary. It's never really good because you will get that. You will come back threefold. I am a firm believer of that. Something negative has to offset it because you get the yin, the yang. The universe cannot be offset by our own ambitions. But speaking of that guy, he believed in, he was a satanic worshiper. Mm-hmm. And another guy he actually hunted down demons. He classifies himself as a demon hunter. And I know some of you may laugh out there or whatever, but this guy is dead serious. If you believe in demons, you got to understand there are people out there who want to hunt these things, and the societies under those definitely keep themselves well hidden because everyone thinks they're crackpots and just try to ruin what they're actually trying to accomplish. But they wanted to try something where they were going to summon something, but the demon hunter was actually going to put a barrier up. I've had my other ideas with certain renditions that I'm going to eventually experiment with. It's not safe. I will end up eventually showing these things, but I want to make sure what I find, get my evidence first, get my results before I start putting this stuff out there, because you put something out on the web, guess what? Somebody to get out there is going to be like, that looks cool.
I'm going to try that.
I'm going to try it.
I'm going to catch that.
Yeah, they have no experience with anything, and boom, they end up with something attached to them. They end up, randomly dying all of a sudden. I mean, that's the most extreme, of course. Yeah,
so, side note, just for you, next time we see Justin Spurrier, remind me to have him show you this video of a girl sleeping on the couch that he's got. Yeah. Totally creepy. So, and also speaking of Justin Spurrier, I was talking to him the other day about the Garnett House, and he recently caught an EVP in there that was freaking phenomenal. Like, he played it over, we were talking on Facebook on the voice thing, and basically stuff moves and disappears out of that house. He had an EMF detector disappear on him. He had an EMF detector disappear on him. And he went in with this other girl looking for it. And on his recorder, he caught a male voice, which was the same gruff male voice, the EVP out of the room with the fruit on the walls. Same voice that says, "What are they looking for?"
Oh, dude. I've got to see that.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So stuff's still happening there. They're still experiencing stuff. So they're pretty excited about it.
Yeah. Radiation overdose. Real quick.
Yeah, just wanted to say that I'm a skeptic, but I really enjoy your format, and you've caught some things that are definitely intriguing. Thanks for the quality content. We appreciate your comment. We appreciate you watching. Some of this stuff, I'm a skeptic too, and I'll be the first one to tell anybody I am definitely a skeptic. And a lot of the times, whenever I put stuff out, I don't say this is the spirit of, or this is the ghost of. I will say that that certain things are unexplained. We're not able at the time to explain this. We're not, we're not saying this is paranormal or whatever. A lot of the stuff that we do capture and that I do tend to put into the episodes are things that I think you guys would enjoy hearing, and I think you guys need to hear, so you understand why we react a certain way or why we're thinking a certain way about a location. Now, there has been some stuff in there that I will flat out tell you, it's a ghost. It's a ghost.
Yeah. And even though I study, demons, spirits, things like that, I am a big believer in the spiritual realm and these other entities. Where my skepticism comes in are the actual locations and what is said to have happened there.
Yeah.
I go in as like, okay, we got some great history about this place. It's going to make for an awesome, investigation and research. But do I really believe that this stuff is like flying off the walls, or that this person came out, harmed or something like that? It's hard for me to believe, because as investigators, we've ran into so many times to where it's been bogus.
Yeah.
Especially in our early years. Yeah. It's just nothing actually happens, and no one actually received it. They were just overzealous, and it was a natural thing. Like, if you open up a window here, this door shuts. And they're like, "Oh, spirit." No, Joe Blow across the hall just opened up his window.
Yeah. And that's primarily why it's a good thing to still do the home private residences and things of that nature. I know with like network TV stuff you see on TV, yeah, a lot of it is staged because the networks, they want to make their money. They want to be able to sell their product to get the advertising and make that money. But you also have to keep in consideration that a lot of these shows, they're going into some of the more active locations. So that's where stuff starts getting foggy, is what's real and what's not with these locations.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important for a team, any team that's putting a show on YouTube or anything like that. You don't have to bow down to a network. You don't have to fake stuff.
Mm-mm.
In all honesty, in the paranormal field, people still want to see what goes on during an investigation.
Yep.
And being able to tell the history, I think that's just for us another aspect that we get to bring to you, as far as you know, like as far as something else to see.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to call it like just another hook, but because everybody does history, but nobody really does the history.
Exactly. And I mean, we've been told so many times that people love the way we format our show and what we are actually trying to do out there. We're not trying to make money off of this.
This is a mosquito. Hang on, I'm bugging the crap out of him.
Oh gosh, did you get him?
No, I pushed him further away.
Yeah, I got him. Woohoo! Yeah,
Mosquito dead. We have
dead
to go
mosquito.
mosquito now.
Uh-oh. I lost my thought. Dang mosquito. But back to the questions just real quick. Juice, any thoughts on CERN bringing forth new matters into this realm?
I think that's already happened.
It has. I mean, you first had the Higgs boson particle, which had been dumped the God particle. It had never been around before. And then this last time that CERN had ran, they found another particle.
Well, they had to shut CERN down for, I think it was a month, because something came through one of the vacuums that has no, or it was like some tubing that there was no sign of any animal chewing through it and getting in, or no way any animal could have got in there. But there was something that got stuck in it, and they had to shut it down and take it apart and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, and they've even had articles out there where CERN supposedly opened up black holes already. So,
yeah. So
and they were peering on the other side to see what was on the other side. So I mean, God forbid we end up in the mist.
Oh God, yeah. That's what that was one of my episodes I did on the belief. Was it talks about the CERN glider, their research, and how they may have accidentally went to our own dimension and kind of opened up a little gateway to some other things that are happening out there, which, I mean, technically with what you've seen so far this year, ever since they shut down CERN, yeah, I can kind of see where what they had done could possibly mess with things. Am I definitely going, yes, they did? No, but is it a possibility? Which that's what the belief is about. Is there a possibility?
Yep. Let's see here. Using spirit boards only leads to very bad juju.
I knew what she said.
I know it too. I just read it. You know what? This is what I find funny. People. I don't use Ouija boards. I won't use a Ouija board.
I haven't.
People will say, well, there's no difference in using a Ouija board than doing an EVP session because it's both trying to communicate. Well, that part is true, but using a Ouija board is almost like doing a spell.
It is, because I mean, a true Ouija board that will work.
You're conjuring.
You're trying to conjure something because, I mean, look at what's on the board around you. It's just not letters, yes, no, numbers, and goodbye, and yes. No, it's got the sun, the moon, the star. It's got these things that are positioned on there for a reason, to make it work. So it's kind of has its own little spell, and God, I don't know why, but a freaking toy company makes them.
Yeah, Hasbro.
Yes.
Good job, Hasbro. Possessing little children one by one.
Possessing children since 1845.
I personally never encountered a ghost or demonic spirit. I would like to think that they fear me because of my light. That's a possibility. I would rather have an honest show like yours than trumped up fake crap like Zach Bagans. I will say this about Zach Bagans. The guy's a showman.
Very
the guy's a showman. He knows how to put a show together. So he's doing that part right. All the other bullshit, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Radiation Overdose. I'm glad you love what we do and how we kind of ran things. And Angel, you scare me sometimes, girl. You scare me sometimes. Oh, because I'm feeling
on your left.
Yeah, you are on my left. I am feeling a bit warm because we were in here, but my left arm, it has been feeling kind of odd. But yeah, I just talked it up to it being warm in here, and I got a little fan down here.
Angel knows how to party.
Oh, buddy, I tell you guys.
Yeah,
you need to hit me up and see what you're seeing, or heck, post it right here. I don't care.
Around his house, around your house.
Well, she's saying some energy around my left arm. I don't know what it is. She's recognizing what she's hitting on.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, John's house is down over here.
Yeah,
it's haunted.
Yeah,
I live right over here. I've got stuff happening. There was night before last. On the other side of this wall right here is John's workshop, and there was stuff moving in there. Something knocked over a bunch of boxes. Could be rodents. I didn't see any rodents. I haven't seen any signs of rodents, but it's a possibility. I'm not saying it's a ghost. I'm just saying that around here, there's a lot of stuff that happens. So
yeah. And heck, Angel knows as many as I think I could probably say close to about 5 people have told me I got this dark figure that likes to follow me around. Not as a bad thing. Dark does not mean bad. Dark does not necessarily mean bad.
Shadows are dark.
Yeah, shadows are dark. But I've been informed that there's something that is watching over me and that protects me, that allows for certain things to happen and not other things to happen. Holy crap. I wonder if she came with me from my house. That's funny what you said. You're like, from your house? I do have a little girl who likes to whistle and giggle. She makes herself known. Dave actually whenever he was staying with me for a little bit, he went up and did an EVP session while I was gone.
I caught her.
He caught her on the recorder. Yep. I had another buddy who, it was Carmen's brother. He had a couple odd things happen there, and the first thing that got me noticing the young female was my mom always told me, which she was a big fan of Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters and all that stuff when they first came out. That's what kind of got me into watching them. My mom's like, hey, look at this. And not to mention that, come to find out I have a doppelganger on TV. But she kept telling me about this little girl who whistles around the house. And I was living right next door, and I just kind of was like, okay, Mom, sure. See, I become a skeptic when I start hearing other people's encounters until I see them for myself.
Yep. I
am from the Show Me State. Granted, I may be a Texan, but I grew up in the Show Me State. And so one day, my mom was in her bedroom. She was doing something in there, getting her hair done or something like that. And I'm standing outside of her door, and just leaned up against the wood frame, and all of a sudden, I hear, and I just look down to my right, which was in the living room, and my mom looks at me. She goes, you heard her, didn't you? I was like, yes, maybe. So that is freaky. She might have came on a road trip with me today.
Maybe. She just wanted to get out a little bit. Yeah. Just like anybody else. He gets stir crazy.
Yeah. And me personally, if you feel something there that's in your house, I conversate with it. Yeah, I will speak with it. If I hear a noise, I'll acknowledge it. Some places may not be the best of thing if you're living there. If you lived in the Sallie House and have some crazy stuff happening, I may not want to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Because like Angel said, and what I believe in a lot of my demonology research, is if it's acknowledged, if you're looking to find it, you will find it.
All right. I have a question for you folks there that are watching and listening. I'm curious to see what your favorite episode is. Out of all the seasons that we've done, all 3 seasons, what has been your favorite episode? And I'm just kind of curious to see where this lands. I know we've done some big places, some well-known places like the Crescent Hotel, the Elm Springs Hotel,
that was
Sallie House. those get a lot of views because of their popularity.
Mhm.
But for those that have subscribed to our channel and that have watched all these other shows, all these other episodes, I'm curious to see what their favorite episode might be.
And tell us why, whether it be the history or what happens. That would also intrigue me as to why that is a favorite episode.
The reason I'm asking this is this helps me get a good it helps me derive good information from what you're saying, so we know how to gear our episodes to entertain you more, so you guys get more out of it. So let us know.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, wow. Wow, we actually went in about 2 hours.
I know.
So we just love talking to you guys.
This happens like on the podcast with John and myself. The Route 66. Nice.
Oh, I love that place. Plus, very nice owners.
The theater or the home? Theater or the home? Because the home, we did help out the guy. The theater has its own interesting stuff.
Yeah,
Garnett, because of its rich history.
definitely. That's always a good positive with the rich history, which I mean Garnet has.
Little fun side thing while you guys are picking your episodes. Little fun thing about the Garnett House. The guy that showed up that had all these drawings and stuff with all the information, those drawings are from a somewhat well-known artist who lived in the house. And he would draw like the figures and everything from what he knew of the people that were living there. And he would write information about when they were there and everything like that. Now, the guy also that brought those drawings in, he actually came in when the place was closed. They were about to tear it down and stuff. And after the auction happened, he went in there and took some stuff for souvenirs.
Yeah.
Because it was a doctor's office, he took something out of there that struck me kind of funny. It was a model of a vagina.
Well, I guess it was lonely.
You know, it was like one of those, you know, those things in the doctor's office where you could take them apart and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It was one of those. And he said he was worried that driving home he was going to get pulled over and cop would ask him what it was. So it was pretty funny. He brought it out there. He didn't bring it into the house or anything. He didn't want to like take it out and stuff like that. But yeah, he grabbed that and he didn't know why. He just grabbed it. So I guess he's like Trump, likes to grab some.
Grab him by the whoop.
And let's see here. So the theater, yeah, the theater's. Let's tell you something about that theater. That theater has it out for me. You know, Angel did a viewing for me there, helping pinpoint who it is, why, what. And after the experiences that I had there, and this is what was cool about, this is why I jumped on board with Angel and having her work with me on the paranormal studies thing. Before we even released the theater episode, like, of course, we already had all these experiences, and we didn't tell people about these experiences. And I had her take a look at this theater, and she told me things that really applied to the experiences that I had. Mm-hmm. And that made me gave me validation for what she does. And then bring her in on the Paranormal Studies pilot. She really kicks some ass on that. So
Yeah.
So she's like one of the very few psychics I would ever use.
Yeah, one of the only ones I've actually personally met that has stood up to, her abilities that she's projected. Because we dealt with one that she was like a parrot more than a psychic. I swear I heard, "Rock, he's possessed." Yeah, but
all right, this is I'm currently researching the Mental Health Institute in my town and meeting tons of people who have worked there and have crazy stories about the things that have happened there. If I can get you guys in the tunnels, if I can arrange this, would you be interested? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't want to stop you from saying what you're saying, but I'm sitting there going,
yes,
please, yes.
Kelly, I don't know if you got me on Facebook, but hit me up on Facebook through my page, Haunting History, or Paranormal Frequencies, or Four State Paranormal. Um, so
yeah, that will definitely be interesting because it's like, yeah, we love tunnels, we love asylums, we love it all.
I recently subscribed to your channel. I love the history you have in your episodes. Love your show. Thank you, Heather. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you subscribing. My intro was the Sallie House, but I really liked the most recent one, Malvern Manor. The sounds that were caught on cam, the interview with the owner, the history was solid combo. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Really.
Thank you. That's definitely a really good one. I do see Bleeding Kansas Paranormal up there. They said Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde House.
I love that episode. I'm not gonna lie one bit. That it was just an all around incredible experience.
Well, it's something that I said, we shot it on camera too, but we didn't put it in the episode. Something that I said that I still stand by when we were up at the museum filming.
Yeah.
Just being able to touch like the door handles that Bonnie and Clyde touched, being able to touch an object in general that has significant historical value that, say, somebody had handled or stood behind or touched, that gives me an amazing feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's so wild and crazy to think that I could be holding something that these notorious killers held, or I could be standing behind the podium that JFK once stood behind, because there is a podium there in that museum that JFK used.
Mm-hmm.
At the Jackson County Jail.
Oh my God!
The bar there that's in the museum part that was a Truman.
Yeah, it was Truman.
It was owned by President Truman. Had this ugly ass stand that was a bar.
It was ugly. I kid you not.
It was really ugly, but it was historical and it was really awesome.
Yes.
So,
I mean, I even enjoyed the elms. I mean, granted, some of the stuff may have changed, but the room of Al Capone. Yeah. The room where Truman.
Yeah.
He also stayed there. Truman again. Ran into something. I wonder if there may be a Truman thing going on.
Well, up in that area, definitely. I started thinking we were following Truman there for a while. Like, damn, why is Truman showing up at everywhere?
We're in the Truman Show.
But yeah, just being involved with historical places and items and being able to touch and use and see them is remarkable in itself. So, yeah. So Bonnie and Clyde definitely has that spot there.
Definitely.
Let's see.
Ooh. Yeah, definitely get a hold of us, Kelly, there.
Ooh, thank you, Kelly.
Hi, Kitty.
Kitty baby.
Oklahoma. Well, thank you guys for chiming in and giving us your thoughts and asking us some questions, because I just enjoy this, talking with you guys about this stuff.
Yeah, we've been going for 2 hours here. If you didn't catch the other parts of it, you guys, this will probably be uploaded to our YouTube channel here, so you guys can see. There's no ads, or there shouldn't be any ads. I didn't monetize this thing, so there shouldn't be any ads. You guys should be free and clear of that, so you guys get to enjoy it without interruption. We definitely want to thank everybody for jumping on here, chiming in with some questions. We wanted to let you guys know what was going on, what we've got planned coming up. John had to go to Joplin, so he wasn't able to be here, but he sends his best regards. You guys, stay tuned. Next week on Sunday, we'll have the next episode up for the Spanish Treasure Cave. It's going to be an amazing episode. Visually stunning, just the caves.
I haven't seen his edit on it yet. Yeah, and I'm kind of excited because this place was incredible. Just an incredible experience.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how much do you like furry Nazi midget porn? Ooh, that's probably about a 7 for me.
That's a hard 11 for me.
Hard 11. Burning the candle wax on the chest.
Catching the fur on fire.
So thank you guys again for joining us. We're gonna head out of here, and if you guys have any other questions down the line, you're more than welcome to send us a message on our Facebook page, Haunting History, and we do get back to people pretty quick. thank you again for all the subscriptions, all the views, for following us, and for showing your support. We greatly appreciate it. We would not be doing this if it wasn't for you guys.
Thank you, guys.
So, all right. Thank you much. I'm trying to figure out how to end this, but it's not happening.
No, there it is.